And I think, no. Yep, I've been doing the whole thing with no audio. Oh well, that's what happens when you're a noob. So we'll start all over again from what I can remember. Oh, that's why. I thought it's been quiet on my phone. But we are painting Mantic's All Out War because I have given up on Deadzone because the casts with what came with the game were really bad and annoying. I don't want to say, well, we'll say annoying because the other words are not kid friendly, and I know it's Saturday morning. Uh, where so I'm doing All Out War. Description down below where you can get it from Mantic themselves. I am using Broken Toad Mach 3 brushes. Description down below as well. Also, if you guys haven't yet, follow, like, subscribe to my channel. You can turn the bell on if you want, but I am sporadic on my videos. What else did I say earlier in the beginning of the video of quietness? Oh, paints are not in the description just because I, like most of you, have acquired a bunch of ranges over the years. And for those of you who have just re-watched the beginning after it's live, I was just showing off my desk area with my new camera setup, just in case you guys wonder why the camera got picked up and moved around. And I'm a noob and didn't realize my microphone was um, basically muted. Have a nice shiny piece of laminate flooring right here just to cover up the mess and nasty habits of Whitebird miniatures behind the wall. And eventually might see stickers, or not stickers, but tape to make sure everything's in frame and focused. Let's see if he can focus now. Hopefully that is in focus. Like I said, it's a new setup. I'm not liking how the tripod was because I don't know how to use zoom on this. Oop, 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 oop. Still not focused. But yes, we're doing one walker, one survivor, and using for survivor right now, and possibly this walker, I'm using Rin Flesh from P3, which is Privateer Press paints, which I have been enjoying. Had them for about 5-6 years, maybe longer. I can't remember when I bought them. I remember buying a set and them just sitting away because they had one color I wanted. But I've now started using 4 colors. Five out of the 6 set. And because they're in the old GW style pots, they're going to last 20 years. Just because I have this color from way back in the day. It's separated a little, but with a good shake, yep, it's just separated on the bottle, inside mixed. But yeah, that's one of my old colors, which I haven't really used back when they were, they still are Citadel, but you guys know what I mean. Before they started changing shapes and everything. So let's go back to business. The painting of models. And like I said, I am sorry for the lack of painting for the past minute or so, but I had to redo my intro. One day I will have this down to near perfection. But don't count on it, guys. The only way for me to have it near perfection is, let's see, youngest is almost 8, so about 10 years. When I'll have a lot more free time to do this. With no kids to bug me. All the kids, well, they're asleep now, but this is like the best time to do stuff. Yes, I would like a lay-in, but I want a hobby. I want a live stream, work on my YouTube, which isn't profession, but have kind of turned it, because it's wake up at 6:38 ish, or should I say 6:30 to 8, and just go from there. Have a couple of cups of coffee, and then start doing hobby stuff, just so I can have peace and quiet, get the recordings done. Some of my tutorials, which I can use the video, I have to voice over because I have a child who just, even though he's starting to understand that when I'm in here, I am working. Whether I'm painting models to put on my website, painting models for Instagram, to try to build up a commission painting service. And without Facebook, it's going to be a long, hard process. But everybody doesn't need Facebook. Oh, that ain't too bad. So, we'll go blue. And for that, we're going to use that blue. Yeah, one of the darker blues for GW's ultramarine base, maybe? Don't quote me. Or is that Caldor Scott? I don't know. I've given up. And this is one of those nice colors I have pre-made, pre-thin. So anybody want to complain that I'm using straight from the pot? Like I've mentioned before, I have used for airbrush and just constantly put back into the pot after I'm done. add a little bit more thinner into the pot just to mix it up nice and neat, and just so I can use straight from the pot. So I don't know if this guy, it's based on the comics, The All Out War. So those of you who bought it and going, oh, where is Rick Grimes doesn't look like Rick Grimes on TV, it's because they went, I believe, when they got the rights to produce the game, they went comic book. Just in my view, it's a lot better than the show. I stopped watching after season 7.5, possibly. It just became too much, too annoying. And then the people moaning about, oh no, so and so died. I'm like, I know. The only ones that would be a real shock on the show would be Daryl, because he's not in the comic books. Maggie's sister was a shock, because I believe she's not in the comics, if memory serves me right. Has been a while since I picked up the comic books, but she was a shock because they added people onto the show just so people can't go, oh, he's gonna die. Oh, they met so and so, he's gonna die. Oh, so and so's here, so and so's gonna die. Is Game of Thrones was for the people who never read the books. They were complaining, oh, why'd they kill so and so and so and so? And the only reason I'm saying so and so is just so I don't spoil anything for anybody. Because I know there's probably a few of you who will sit there and be like, ooh, people have been talking about this for years. Maybe I should actually get around to watching this show. But do not, I'm avoiding spoilers. But the people who read the books before they did the shows know well in advance who dies, who doesn't die, who wins what. But then I think the last season of Game of Thrones was not like how it's meant to be in the book. I don't know. Don't read books because I'm just a bad person. Don't like reading. If it has no pictures, I don't read it. I am using some 3D printed paint holders, which for my itty bitty little 3D printer, these are great for. I'm just using a small, cheap, I guess you call it a mini printer. Because the biggest dimension, it's like 100 millimeters high, and then like 90 long, 120 wide, or something weird like that. I can't remember. But these only take a couple hours. That's basically all I've been printing. But I do like these. They came, I'll show you one here. Top, they come with a pre-indented hole, so you can add a magnet like I did, just not the right one. Then underneath, you can add a washer, but as you can see, I don't bother, and it's not that great of a print underneath. But if you get a magnetic sheet, you can just stick them on, hang them upside down, however you want to do it. And then I corked some, well, put a magnet in the cork, just so if I have to, I can spin it around, lift it, get that weird angle, and not worry about touching the model. And then half of them I just been doing like this. Just a piece of blue tack underneath, and just blue tack the model on. Alright, next we are going to give the survivor a white shirt, underbelly shirt, or wife beater, whatever you want to call it. And I'm using P3 underbelly blue, which is a light gray with a blue tint. Which again is pretty thin because it is part of my white armor, white scars. Well, white armor, so white scars, Sigmarines, anything with white armor, that is basically the base coat. Next layer after that will be a little bit of white, just to keep it from the shadows, or to keep it in the shadows, and to keep, basically create a non-white white. Because when I do the final dots of the white highlight, or to just give it that little pop, it's this color plus the white mixture with a little bit more white, so it's still not pure white. White is in the mix, just not as pure. And this way you can almost 90%, not, I don't want, we'll just say almost get away with no washing on the white. So we'll have this color as the natural shadow, and just lightly layer up the next color. It's actually quite nicely starting to take shape. And how is everybody in the chat? If anybody's there, I don't know. Okay guys, I hear kids coming, so I'm gonna log off before they start annoying the crap out of me. Have fun, be safe, and do what you can to keep yourself sane. Have fun.